Hello everyone, welcome to Migo's fantastic adventure. Today's story is thrilling, no bad endings. At an extravagant mob funeral, Migo and his aunt finally made up after a whole season of fight. The price was steep as they lost their uncle forever. His aunt decided to help him lure out Bill and wrap up this saga with aunt's aid. Migo stands his sword. Then, he summoned his bear pal and they went to her place at night to strategize. That night, the aunt called Bill, saying she could catch Migo for him, but only if he gave her 1,000 off per kilo of flour. Bill agreed without the slightest hesitation, truly blinded by the low profit. Little did he know, at that moment, his aunt was strategizing with Migo on how to tackle him, and Bear was the key player. If he slipped up, as the situation worsened, the three had to fight desperately. The next day, Migo told his pregnant girlfriend to flee with his mother if he didn't return. He went to vent his anger at his aunt's place, where she wasted no time unleashing a barrage of punches on him. Let's hope this would convince Bill. Once all was set, they prepared to roll out. Bear got the boarding pass and called Migo to say everything was. Little did they know, Bear got snagged by the cops during a call, prompting immediate action for Migo, and the aunt called Bill again, claiming she had captured Migo, but Bill said to put him in a certain spot and he'd arrive later. This threw a wrench in their plans, but Migo thought the risk was worth it if only Bear would show up. Unbeknownst to him, Bear had been caught. Soon, Aunt and her people arrived at the rendezvous. They dumped the bound Migo there, but as the night wore on, Bill was nowhere to be found. This began to stir a sense of worry in Migo, thinking something was off. After a bit, a car rolled up, and to his bewilderment, Bear was nowhere in sight with Bill. "Oh no, this is bad," Migo thought, looking around, but seeing no Bear, realizing danger was near. So, Migo hurriedly begged Bill for mercy, claiming he knew plenty of secrets. But Bill was having none of it, and in a sudden scene change, Migo found himself dragged to an abandoned warehouse hanging like a pie. As Migo appeared to be completely powerless to resist, with only a slim hope of survival, precisely at this crucial moment, Bear suddenly made an unexpected appearance. Behind him were KGB agents, as Bear had been secretly monitoring the entire scenario. Subtitle: Bear had just been taken away by the police officers, but was rescued halfway. The cops were simply no match for them, resulting in the current situation. Once Bill recognized the KGB agents, he knew he wouldn't escape and chose to surrender, willingly tossing down his weapon. The agent ordered Bear to tie him up, and naturally, the antics did not escape the agent's keen eyes. He instructed Bear to hand him the gun, but the moment Bill looked down, Bear lunged at him, trying to figure out if he was friend or foe. To keep his plan intact, Bear, a seasoned boxer, knocked him out in no time flat. Seeing the tables turn, Bill called for Bear to untie him, but Bear hesitated, instead choosing to save Migo. This left Bill flabbergasted. He never expected it would come to this, and Migo certainly wasn't about to go easy on him. But before offing Bill, Migo needed to pry that $73 million out of him. A black man's billion-dollar wealth had never been so precarious. So, Migo decided to play a little roulette. He entered the chamber and loaded just one bullet for Bill, ready to deliver a surprise. "I should've seen this coming," he said coldly. "Emulate mother, now stop it." Bill suddenly realized how much money meant to him, convinced Migo wouldn't risk losing it, wondering, "You think him a fool?" Migo wasn't fazed, reloaded the bullet, ready to kick off the next game, just as his mother appeared to stop him. She wanted to clarify a few things. Once Migo stepped out, she confronted Bill, asking why he targeted Old Black. "I planned to take him to Cuba for retirement." She found Bill was in Cuba when her husband vanished, but Bill insisted Old Black was still alive. "I've got him locked away, but if you let me go, he'll tell you where he is." Hope rekindled within the black mob. At this point, Migo's interrogation reached a deadlock, but his girlfriend dropped a hint. Nothing is scarier than the pain of betrayal. He flaunted a jug of oil in front of Bill, but Bill still wouldn't budge, which left Migo no choice but to get serious. He dripped scalding oil on Bill's chest, with screams resembling a heartbreaking melody. "Let me go, and we'll split the fortune." Migo perked up, excited at the prospect of reclaiming part of his fortune, and he couldn't refuse that. They decided to finalize the deal in a public spot. Migo called Bill's superior, stating he'd released Bill and a KGB agent. Black Mama wasn't at ease, so she decided to tag along, and they met in a park, where the superior agreed to have Bill return Migo's fortune. But just as she made the call, Black Mama asked where her husband was. and little did she know she would pay the ultimate price for her lies. Migo stood frozen, thinking he was one step from being a billionaire. He urged Bill to reveal the password. But it was too late. Black Mama was already kneeling, with police sirens getting louder, and she refused to budge. Migo had no choice but to retreat, but with Mama's arrest, his billion-dollar fortune was lost. Meanwhile, Mama confessed to the murder charge, exposing the CIA puppet making schemes, prompting the judge to silence her. Here, his girlfriend's real estate business hung by a thread. Facing bankruptcy risk, selling all her assets still couldn't wipe her debts. In the end, his girlfriend vanished. Everything was lost. Not even a trace of dignity remained.